I don't know if this counts as supernatural or just a freak coincidence, but it definitely freaked me out nonetheless. This happened back in 2018, so my friend and I both attend church on a regular basis, so talking about things that have to do with spiritual battles, ghosts, demons, the devil, etc. was something that we talked about from time to time. So when this event took place, the show, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, came out on Netflix. I'm sure you've heard of it. I started watching it and would tell my friend about each episode, but as the episodes progressed, the show seemed to get darker and more focused on Satanism, which I didn't accept, but in hindsight I should have. It wasn't really about a witch trying to fit in the mortal world anymore, but pretty much the worship of Satan. I would tell my friend about all the weird and creepy stuff like sacrifices that would go on in the show, and he would make jokes and say, "If you keep watching that satanic stuff, it will manifest and you'll see Satan standing at your door. Or you're going to hell for watching that." Dumb stuff like that. It was funny, but I never really thought about it and just kept on watching. While watching, I kept telling myself that I was just watching the show to understand what people that are actually into demonic rituals and worship Satan are like, because they are out there. I convinced myself I was watching for knowledge on Satanism and wouldn't let it affect me, even though I was starting to get pretty freaked out about the whole thing. The whole reason why I was getting freaked out is because I'm a firm believer that when you surround yourself with bad and negative things like that, you're just inviting evil entities into your life. Now here's what happened that made me second-guess everything. I remember this specific day I had a lecture to go to the next day, so I went to sleep at a regular time, not too late. The next morning I wake up, get a text from my friend, and he says, "Why would you call me at 3 a.m.? Now I read that and am completely confused. I thought to myself I didn't call him. So I checked my phone's call log and he was right, I did call him at 3 a.m. But I was sleeping at that time, so how could I have called him? So I make a joke about it being the devil that called him from my phone to try and make light of the weird situation, but then he sends me a screenshot of the call. And it freaked me out even more. The call was made at exactly 3:33 a.m. Some people say that's the devil's hour or something. Then my friend makes a joke and says, "I told you you're going to hell." I started to get a little panicked at that point, because how is it possible that a random call gets placed at that specific time when I'm not awake? It could have been any time, but why that specific time? I tried to rationalize it, and I told my friend that I sleep with my AirPods and listening to white noise, and maybe I turned in my sleep and somehow clicked on my AirPod twice and called him. I was really trying to make sense of the whole thing. It was the only rational thing I could come up with. But I just put it out of my mind. Later that day, I watched another episode of the show. I forget what episode number it was, but in this specific episode, Sabrina was on trial in front of the witches for breach of promise from her refusal to sign the Book of the Beast. And one of the things the judge said was, if she was found guilty, she would completely lose her humanity and spend 333 years burning in the pit of hell. I told my friend about what I just saw and I said, "Yep, I'm done." I stopped watching that show right then and there and didn't look back. Oh no. Too many coincidences adding up all at once, and I didn't like it. I got the chills just writing this, but that's my story, and it's the closest thing I've ever experienced to anything weird/supernatural. Maybe it was or wasn't, but that was definitely a scary experience. Thanks for listening.